Around the world, wherever people are in need, you're likely to find workers from Catholic Relief Services there to offer help. Find out how churches here in the Valley and elsewhere are teaming up with Catholic Relief Services to reduce suffering and create opportunity. Next on FaithWorks. Welcome to FaithWorks. I'm Jim Grant. In November of 2013, Typhoon Haiyan destroyed much of the Philippine Islands, killing 6,000 people and leaving another 4 million without their homes. One of the very first organizations to help there in the Philippines was Catholic Relief Services, who provided emergency food, shelter, and sanitation. To support the work of Catholic Relief Services, the Diocese of Fresno cooperated very generously by sending $300,000 directly to this service. Watch now as we see where those funds were put to immediate use.
Shelter distribution. People have been registered ahead of time and they know exactly what they're getting when they line up, and they're coming through here getting their shelter materials, and they're heading out to go begin working on constructing some shelter, emergency shelter for their home. I would just like to give a big thank you to our donors for supporting us to get this aid here as quickly as possible.
I'm joined now by Sergio Lopez, who is the Catholic Relief Services Relationship Manager, connecting that ministry with the Dioceses of Fresno, San Bernardino, Las Vegas, and Los Angeles. He'll share with us a little bit about what he's going to be doing with the diocese, and also about what it is that Catholic Relief Services is doing in the world and what we can be doing to cooperate. Sergio, it's great meeting you finally and knowing what you're doing. Briefly, can you tell us what this relationship managing is with our Diocese of Fresno? What will you be doing with us?
So my background is actually in parish ministry, and so I was a parish youth minister for close to 8 years. And all this time, I was passionate about getting young people involved in Catholic social teaching and living out their faith. And so I recently came to this position as a relationship manager, and one of the strengths that I bring is certainly working with young people and connecting them to ways that they can live out their faith. Also working with Hispanic communities, working in areas of social media and communications. And so some of that we'll be bringing to the Diocese of Fresno and just strengthening the great work that's already happening here.
We're so excited that you'll be starting, but let's talk about what it is that Catholic Relief Services does in the world, beginning perhaps with the Philippines and other points of your experience. You have some stories you did want to share. What is that one about the Philippines that you know our viewers need to hear?
It's just amazing the generosity that's come from the people in the United States, and that same generosity being demonstrated in the Philippines. And one of the great stories that I love from our colleagues on the ground in the Philippines was about the bishops in some of the areas hardest hit by the typhoon. Just when the emergency response work began, just opened their doors to our people, our friends, our colleagues on the ground, literally opening up the bishop in the city of Tacloban, opening up his bishop's residence so that CRS could actually have an office there in that hard-hit area. And there was literally tents pitched up in this bishop's living room, and we were able to live there, to work from there, to minister from there.
Now CRS is in 93 countries globally. What would be another anecdote that would let us connect with one of those countries, one of those ministries, one of those things that show what we can be doing to be aware of what goes on in our world?
Sure. Well, as you can imagine, that typhoon, as you saw in the video, just devastated the area, and so just the initial phase of bringing relief to the Philippines is tremendous in the face of that disaster. One simple thing that young people in the Archdiocese of Los Angeles did, feeling moved by what they saw in March of last year at their Diocesan Youth Day, a gathering that brings 15,000 young people from all over Southern California and other states. They brought them together, and through the use of social media, were able to publicize this collection they were going to have at their liturgy. The young people of the Archdiocese and the other states collected $10,000 to basically help with the relief work in the Philippines. And not just the relief work, the immediate response, but the ongoing reconstruction work of rebuilding the Philippines that's going on right now.
Now, a year ago, I was able to interview Carmen Cervantes, who told us some tales from Haiti and what Catholic Relief Services was doing there after the earthquake. Could you give us an update? Because you said there is continuing work. Catholic Relief Services doesn't only come in during the emergency, you stay for the long haul. Tell us something about that.
Sure. One of the things that I love about Catholic Relief Services is that wherever the church is, that is where Catholic Relief Services is. And we believe that the church is the body of Christ, the people of God. And so that's where we are. And so in the case of Haiti, we were there before, and we continue to be there afterwards. In January, a great milestone in this recovery work from the earthquake is that in January there will be dedicating a teaching hospital. St. Francis de Sales Hospital is going to be a teaching hospital. Something, one of the oldest hospitals in Haiti, has been made better than ever by the recovery work and the rebuilding work that's been happening since that earthquake. And so now people are going to be able to go to this hospital and to learn just simple ways in which they can help take care of their own community in those times of sickness.
Now, CRS is one of hundreds of wonderful organizations serving people all over the world. But what distinguishes it is its gospel focus. Archbishop Paul Coakley, who is the Archbishop of Oklahoma City, is also your board chair at CRS. He's going to explain for us what it is that makes Catholic Relief Services so special apart from the rest.
Faith in action that leads to results.
Faith is what sets us apart at CRS from an ordinary relief agency, because it's our Catholic faith. It's faith that enables us to recognize the dignity of every person. It's our Catholic faith that enables us to recognize the face of Christ in the face of our suffering brothers and sisters, wherever they are, under whatever circumstances they are living and suffering anywhere in the world. So if CRS leads by faith, it's our faith that inspires us. It's also our faith that holds us accountable. It's our faith that calls us to action. Faith has to be lived out, and CRS provides us an opportunity to put our faith into action.
Faith in action, faith works. You said there's a way that we could almost connect even linguistically with that motif from Catholic Relief. Tell us about that and how it is that Catholic Relief tries to actually concretize its faith absolutely in activities, in action that people can follow up and be partners with you.
Yeah, like the bishop said, our faith calls us to action. It calls us to work. So we get that from our scriptures, and so CRS is very much about giving Catholics in the United States the opportunity to be able to be part of that action, whether it's little ways that they can participate, whether it's praying at home or assembling for Eucharist on Sunday, learning about the Catholic faith. Teaching children, participating in projects that raise awareness to others in their communities about the issues that are happening around the world, but about actually putting their faith into action and by sharing that good news of what the church is doing with the world.
Now, one thing that I want to help people appreciate, though it is a Catholic organization, you minister many, many times in non-Catholic situations. Mm-hmm. Could you give us an example of some of the work being done in the Middle East? We're all preoccupied with what's going on in Gaza, Iraq, Syria, and you're there. Mm-hmm. We are there through you. What are we doing there?
Sure.
What more can we do to cooperate?
Yeah, and it's almost it's a mandate of our faith to take the good news to the ends of the world. And so at CRS, Catholic Relief Services, we really believe that it's important for us to minister based on need, not creed, not religion or race. And so we are in the countries where people are most in need. So right now, as you mentioned, in Gaza, in Iraq, wherever there's people hurting, wherever there's violence, we're there to build peace. Wherever there's disaster, we're there to bring relief and to bring God's love and the love of the people of the United States for their brothers and sisters, to bring that to those places.
Now, one place in particular that is on everyone's mind would be Africa, the whole continent, especially the countries that are besieged with the Ebola epidemic. Mm-hmm. You're in those countries. You're in Liberia, Nigeria, Guinea, Sierra Leone. What is it that Catholic Relief has been doing in Africa, which is, I think, half of your commitment is in Africa? Mm-hmm. What are you doing? What can we do to cooperate, Sergio?
So over the years, Catholic Relief Services has been working to help people who live in poverty to basically sustain for themselves, doing programs in agriculture so they can, grow food and entrepreneurship and connecting them with markets so they can sell their artisan goods and those types of things. Now, one of the problems, though, that happens with any development project like this is that in the face of a huge disaster, whether it be an illness like Ebola or a typhoon or an earthquake, it sets people back. And so while that work is very important, it's also about helping these communities become resilient so that they can actually come through that darkness period when they come through with that. A perfect example is in Africa right now, in West Africa with the Ebola crisis. And one of the things that we've been doing besides the economic development work is right now is trying to raise awareness about what Ebola is and trying to break some of the myths that come with that disease. A lot of people still have some kind of you could say superstitious beliefs about how to treat Ebola. And so we've been working with faith leaders in West Africa, interfaith leaders, to basically reach those communities so that they know how to prevent these diseases, so that they know how to actually get treatment and what they can do about that.
We have to take our break at this moment, but we'll be back in 1 minute. And Sergio will be explaining to us something very practical and very concrete that we can be doing beginning today to help cooperate with Catholic Relief Services all over the world. Stay tuned.
KNXT TV is proud to say thank you to all its viewers who have given their support for over 25 years. And only through your support is KNXT able to provide spiritual and informative programming. Please remember KNXT in your long-term support through wills, bequests, trust, and plan giving. Your gift is important to the future of Catholic television. Help preserve the strength of KNXT's message based on the teachings of Christ. Keep KNXT in your future plans.
Hello again and welcome back to FaithWorks. It's my joy to be talking today to Sergio Lopez from Catholic Relief Services, who is sharing with us not only his job, but his passion, awakening in Catholics this commitment to work in favor of the world and not just ourselves, to create, as we say, one human family. So Sergio, do you want to recap for a second what would be the most important thing that our community needs to know today about Catholic Relief Services and their part in it?
I would say that in addition to our mission of serving people overseas based on need and not creed, it's that in the United States we have a mission to engage Catholics in this work. And so there's so many ways, if you're a Catholic and you're watching this, or you're in a parish and you work with people, there's so many ways that you can connect with us, whether you work in youth ministry, whether you're working with children, whether you're working in a parish, or whether you're really passionate about your faith, and maybe you need to take that next step of maybe taking this relationship with God out into the world. There's so many ways that you can get connected. CRS.org is our website that has so many resources for folks, but that is part of our mission, in addition to serving people overseas, is to have a staff of people in the United States who are here as resources, as cheerleaders for all of the folks in the dioceses, all the youth ministers, all the catechists, all the directors, all the bishops. We have a staff of cheerleaders here to basically support everything that you want to do in terms of supporting global solidarity.
Now, one way to get into global solidarity is the way we eat and the way we market, the way we consume. That brings up fair trade. Fair trade is a major part of Catholic Relief Services. Bishop Armando Ochoa is a real advocate of fair trade. He represents our own diocesan commitment. But could you define it for us, for those that need to know what's fair trade anyways, and how is Catholic Relief Services promoting it, engaging it, and making it possible for us to partner with you?
Mm-hmm. So fair trade is basically about ensuring that the people who grow our coffee beans, who the cocoa for our chocolate, people who make our clothes, that those people who are responsible for the things that we use, that they're being paid a just wage for their families. That means that they're earning enough money to put food on their table, to send their kids to school, to get medical care when they get sick. And so fair trade allows that to happen. And it's a beautiful way that families, that parishes, even individuals can get involved in the work of Catholic Relief Services. They can go to our website, crs.org, and click on the Fair Trade section of our website and find out how do they connect with this stuff that we do every single day.
You know, many parishes are actually doing this as a community. Let's see a clip that shows one of them in action.
My name is Father Jacek Orzechowski. I've been at work ministering at St. Camilla's Church for about a year and a half. The way we raise awareness of our parishioners here at St. Camilla's about the needs of our brothers and sisters overseas is first and foremost at Sunday Mass. We preach about it, about what's happening in other parts of the world and how we as a community can make a difference.
I'm Carlos Mena.
And I'm Malup Mena.
And we've been members of St. Camilla's for a little over 3 years.
We participate in the fair trade. We are selling the products during the different masses. And we are making people aware, becoming informed, conscious consumers to make a difference in other people's life.
My name is William Collins, and I have been a member of St. Camilla's since it was formed, actually. Every Sunday we have a donut shop after several of the masses. It's community time where people get together and talk, and we've been doing it for about 5 years, and we sell quite a bit of actually fair trade coffee and chocolates and that kind of thing, and it's grown into something quite significant.
To be Catholic is to be in solidarity with our brothers and sisters, is to reach out and help. But also to not to be afraid to ask critical questions about why so many people in the world are forced to live in situations of extreme poverty.
Sergio, what more than seeing that wonderful parish would you like to share about how that could be our parish? How could the Newman Center do this? How could any of our 86 parishes decide to get on the bandwagon? What are we going to do?
Well, the first thing I would say is definitely check out our website. And we have a unique website for fair trade. You can get to that from our crs.org. But if you go to crsfairtrade.org, there's a whole bunch of simple ways, step by step, how to go about purchasing fair trade coffee, purchasing fair trade chocolate, purchasing beautiful fair trade goods. This year, I know we're working on actually some Advent resources. So a lot of parishes do giving trees throughout the season of Advent, and parishioners can come after Mass and take a little card that has a gift for a 10-year-old child. We're taking this idea and taking it to a global level, so you can purchase uniforms for children overseas, or purchase desks, or those types of opportunities. And so if you check out our crsfairtrade.org website, there's all these ideas for how youth groups, how hospitality teams, on Sunday hospitality teams can get involved. Even dioceses, I know dioceses who have made full-blown commitments to saying we only serve fair trade coffee in our diocese, all the meetings, all that.
This would be wonderful if a single parish did this for starters, or a single family. But if we do it as a family and then do it as a community, imagine the impact this could have. Sergio, before we move on to other topics of CRS, could you introduce us to that website, crs.org, because there is such a wealth of visual imagery. Tell us how we could almost learn so much about our Catholic world and the world which we minister in through CRS through going to the website.
The website's great because one of the things that it does is it helps us raise awareness about the projects that we're doing overseas. So if somebody wants to know what is Catholic Relief Services doing in Haiti, there is a tab where you can actually go in there and look at the different countries that we're in, and you can see the programs. You can see it for yourself. We have a lot of videos on our website. It's linked to our YouTube channel that's got hundreds of videos of the programs that we have overseas, but as well as the programs that we have here in the United States to do outreach and to engage Catholics in our work. And then there's also resources for how to get in touch with people who can help you in your ministry. So certainly if you look in our U.S. team, you'll find the numbers of all the regional relationship managers who are appointed to your diocese to help you connect with all the resources that there are. So crs.org is just a wonderful place to start to get ideas, to learn, to get resources like for prayer, for liturgy, and to donate, especially in those moments of disaster and emergency where we need to be able to flood a location with services and with basic essentials, to be able to channel those funds to those regions.
You're keynoting for the Youth Day here in the diocese, October 12th. What would you be able to tell us about what you're going to do to charge up those 1,200 youth, 1,300 youth, 1,400 youth that are going to be hearing you? What are you going to charge them with?
So the theme of this year's Congress is United in the Feast, and I love it, and one of the things I'm going to be doing is kind of bringing a global aspect to it in terms of who is united in the feast, and so I'm kind of going to be talking about one human family, this one human family united in the feast. And for myself, I didn't start off as a passionate advocate for justice and peace or a huge international, global guy. I was just a guy who one day discovered God through my own confirmation journey and going to high school. And from that experience of God, reading the scriptures and immersing myself in the faith, I began to become aware of this deeper calling to put our faith in action, right? And so I'm going to be sharing some stories of how God, from the very moment that I was a child, was kind of cultivating in me this huge desire, this huge passion to want to help others in need. So there'll be stories of growing up Mexican and growing up Catholic, and just how that began to come about.
I'm glad you said that, how personal your commitment was yourself, because this program is not about an idea. It's about a person, and that person is Jesus. The Pope reminds us it's not an institution we're supporting. It's not the church. It's spreading the good news, the joy of the gospel across the globe. And unless we have that in our hearts first, unless we're in love, the rest of it is just business as usual. So thanks for sharing so honestly, Sergio, that you found it in your own confirmation journey and then in your own following it up, becoming now a staff member of Catholic Relief. We've got only 2 minutes, so we're in that last drill. Is there something you know that you really did want to tell us before we have to hang it up?
Definitely. One of the things that we really wanted to thank the Diocese of Fresno for was their commitment to CRS Rice Bowl. It's something that almost every diocese in some way or another is doing. It's that little bowl that comes out at Lent, and usually it's distributed through First Communion classes, and children put change throughout the year. And this year we saw a good significant increase in the donations to Rice Bowl through the Diocese of Fresno. And in this next coming year, we're going to hopefully be doing a lot more, focus on making awareness about that and engaging parishes in that work of CRS Rice Bowl.
I'm glad we closed on the Operation Rice Bowl. It seems like, well, Lent's so far away, Jim, we're not even thinking that. Well, it will be coming up sooner or later, trust me. And what also is important is finding out before that happens how to get involved, how to get those bowls, how to sign up as a parish to get listed among the living, to become someone who wants to really partner with what Sergio's been telling us about. It's not him, it's not people over in those 93 countries, it's the church in action. I'm going to give you 30 more seconds. What is your last plea, Sergio?
Just thank you. If you're a person that's been involved in this work, that has been committed to this, just thank you so much for all your generosity and for all your dedication. And I really challenge people to dig deep and to ask themselves and to pray and ask God, what are you calling me to do? Because God is tasking us all with a mission. And so if you ask that, God will speak in your heart. And if there's a way you can connect with Catholic Relief Services, we're here waiting.
I want to thank Sergio Lopez. I want to thank Jim DeHartport. I want to thank everyone working in Catholic Relief Services. And I want to thank the diocese for the possibility of bringing you this program. I'd like to send you to crs.org. Go there today. Go there often. You will be impressed. You will be inspired. You will be challenged. Until next time, this is Jim Grant from FaithWorks. God bless.